And we're here for the finale, the most important part of the entire festival, the Ignite Pitch Competition Final. Thank you to everybody for hanging around, for the startups who are taking part as finalists, for the audience who have come to support your fellow startups. Thank you very much. We'll organize a term sheet for each of you at the end. We just stay with us. As somebody who stood here on this stage all day yesterday, I haven't gotten the opportunity to see any of the pitches, so I'm equally as excited to see the pitches that we have here today. I'd like to give a warm welcome to our judges who've taken time to get out of this. We don't have a golden buzzer or anything like that, but one of you will have to decide who's going to be the Simon Cowell of the group. Please welcome our judges, John Fritzl, the CTO and venture partner at Sure Valley, David Lowe, the Director of Business Development at Goodbody, and Bannon, the Head of Technology at AIB, Filippo Crisari, the Managing Partner at Agile GTM, and Pamela Crichton, an investor at WealthTech Ventures. Can I have a round of applause for our judges, please? So, folks, how this is going to work is we're going to invite the finalists up one at a time. They're going to have 6 minutes to tell us all about their business, pitch their business. The judges are then going to have 5 minutes of questions. We have 5 finalists in total, and then just after the finalists, while the judges are deliberating, we have an amazing panel, we have amazing fireside chat for you, just to keep you busy while we're waiting for the finalists. So up first, can I please welcome to the stage, Block.
Hello, Dublin. How are we? Hello, judges. So I'm the first up. That means I need to be memorable. Or as I learned in the pub last night, I need to be deadly. I want you to feel like at the end of this, that this pitch was grand. Yes. So let's talk about blocks. We help leaders to make better, faster decisions without wasting lots of time in spreadsheets. The problem today with decision-making, so let's talk about decision-making. Today, for a lot of decisions, it's just intuition, and that's okay. And when things get a bit more complex, we'll whip out a spreadsheet, but spreadsheets can get complex really fast. And for the big things, fundraising, pricing, acquisitions, we often turn to finance experts who can build a spreadsheet for us or use advanced software, but that can be really expensive. So what's the problem? So today, leaders lose hours on spreadsheets. And that's time that they're taking away from running the business to just manipulate a spreadsheet, copying and paste, inserting rows and columns. A lot of SMEs can't afford finance experts. So they spend their evenings and weekends on YouTube and Google figuring out how to build a spreadsheet, but the quality of those spreadsheets can be questionable. It doesn't necessarily help them with great decisions. So they can make poor decisions. A tech CEO that's just raising their Series A recently, I spoke to him last week, and he said that they spent over 3 weeks building a financial model with an expert, tens of thousands, and he said it just felt like a massive waste of time and a big rip-off. So, what if you had expert-level FP&A at a fraction of the cost, available 24/7 online? That's the product that we're building at Blocks to enable SME leaders to build robust financial plans, financial models, without experts or spreadsheets in just a fraction of the time. And we've done it before. I'm Simon, the founder and CEO. I was an early employee at the enterprise planning software Anaplan. We scaled tremendously over the time. We IPO'd in 2018, and it was acquired last year for over $10 billion. What I observed repeatedly is that in the center, you would have a finance team who run the budget process, but out in the departments or the business units, you've got a leader who needs a model which they can easily change, easily adjust when they need to change their pricing or restructure the business. So everybody's running their own spreadsheets, and what you end up with is Excel chaos, because everyone's got their own spreadsheets, lots of copying and pasting, lots of wasted time. So with Blocks, it's easy. You grab a model from our marketplace that gets you started. It's really easy to tailor it and customize it for your business using our intuitive interface and our built-in intelligence. And voila, you've got a plan. You didn't have to spend your evenings building a spreadsheet. What makes us different is our engine. We've used our deep industry expertise in planning to build a flexible and powerful modeling engine. So we're actually doing the modeling behind the scenes. You don't have to build your own spreadsheet and build all your formulas one by one. Our interface makes it really easy for every leader to build a model, to build their model and tailor it for their business. And the thing I'm most excited about is our intelligence. We're building the world's first AI-generated financial modeling solution. That means as soon as we get your website, we can interpret what you do, how you make money, your pricing, your team. We can pull that data and push it directly into blocks and give you a financial model without you having to build it all from scratch or copy and paste or import all your data. So you can get a financial model within minutes. For us, it means we can onboard customers at pace. And for our users, it means that they get to value really fast. This is a massive market. We focus on small and medium business. There are over 5 million companies in our target market, which represents over $5 billion opportunity. There are other players in this space. There are lots of tools that can help with cash flow management linked to your accounting system. So they help you figure out, am I going to run out of cash in the next few weeks? If you want a tool that's going to help you with strategic financial planning, so you can plug in your assumptions, so as a leader, you can sit down and think about how am I going to grow this business and build a multi-year financial plan. You're often looking at a system which is going to cost you 30 grand plus a year. And that's just not accessible for a small business, and that's why most of us are still using spreadsheets. So we focus on the main incumbent that we're replacing is the spreadsheet. We're a B2B SaaS model with a free tier to attract spreadsheet users en masse, to reduce friction. We're still early in our journey. We were founded in the middle of last year. We ran our beta, and we launched to the public in February just this year. We've already had over 1,000 users using the product who have built over 1,200 models. One of our customers just used it in the acquisition of his technology business. He was so excited about what Blocks could do for him, he insisted on paying for us to support him. We shared the Blocks model with the acquiring company. They logged in and they used it to evaluate his business. He was so excited, he said we actually were able to double the valuation, a remarkable result. He recommends us for anyone seeking phenomenal outcomes. We've got an amazing team. I've got a chartered accountant with a finance background. Matt and myself work together at Anaplan, and Rob and Mike are the right team to make this, to build this and make it easy for users. We've already raised over 600K, which I'm pretty proud of in this current market conditions, and we're still looking for 200K to get to our 800K target. That will help us bring on additional resource for sales and marketing to get to bring on 200 paying customers and get to 100K in ARR by Q1 next year. Thanks very much. If you are a leader looking to build a plan and you're struggling with spreadsheets, I'd love it if you come and talk to us. We're still hanging around over in the corner over there. And if you're an investor and you're sick of looking at crazy spreadsheet models that people send you when they're pitching you for investment, then I'd love to have a conversation. Thanks very much.
Okay, judges, if you have a mic there, who's up first?
I'm always the one who's asking questions first, so I'll do it again.
Nice.
So, hi. So it's pretty good. The only question I have is, what are the use cases that you're looking at right now? Because so also maybe a bit more about the engine itself. Is it already built out, and
yeah.
you know at what stage is that? Because that's the biggest problem of
Yes.
AI and B2B SaaS, and
Yep.
you know the whole cycle, how long it takes, and so on and so forth. So that first, and then the second thing, yeah, like I said, the use cases would
Yep.
be really great because going after a market that is SMEs is huge. So I'd love to hear more about that.
Yeah. So the engine, so we've actually been working on this for over 18 months. We were a spin out, so we'd already been working on the engine in the company where I was previously the chief product officer. I was really excited about this idea, way more excited than the core business, so I made them an offer, got a really good deal, and spun out this as a new company. So the engine is built. It's a highly performant modeling engine that's fantastic backbone. It's the core IP of the business. The concrete use cases. So we work for many different types of businesses. So for a startup, it's a financial model. If you've got a subscription revenue model, you can plug in your assumptions, growth assumptions. We work for service businesses. You can plug in your team, your daily rates, your utilization assumptions, and we can build out a financial model for service businesses. We can also connect to source data systems. So the primary use case for a monthly recurring contract with us would be connecting to your accounting software or your CRM. You can import your data and update your forecast based on that. So really good for sales forecasting, marketing spend planning, and a lot of those things that you need to build and scale a business.
What about the verticals?
Verticals, yeah, we're focused quite a lot on technology. What we look for is a really ambitious leader. So we look for a lot of tech and startups at the moment because there's lots of ambitious leaders that need a financial model to grow the business and to raise money. So that's a primary driver for building a financial model. Otherwise, ambitious leaders who are raising funds. So very much tech at the moment, but the platform is flexible and can be used all over the place. We just have a job to do to build models to help users get started.
Hi, so 2 questions.
Right.
First one is, can you tell me a little bit more about the rest of the team? Who else is involved? What does that look like?
Yep. So the founding team is myself and 2 others, a product manager and a designer. So we worked together in the previous company. And I've went out to my network, hired a head of marketing. So for SME, it's really important that we have great marketing. We can acquire users at a very low acquisition cost. So a head of marketing, a finance manager, and we work with a very strong software development agency. I was previously in product at Anaplan, so we know how to build great tech. So we work with a very decent technology partner for our software.
Okay, cool, thanks. Second question is, it feels like spreadsheets are about to get a lot smarter with Microsoft Copilot. Do you see that as a threat? And if so, how do you plan to deal with it?
Yes, somewhat, but a lot of the challenge that we solve for is just the mundane, repetitive nature of spreadsheets. So you want to import your actual data. You want to update your forecast. You need to change your plan so it works for 2 years instead of 1. You want to change the structure of your model. A lot of those things, some of those things with a Copilot type situation, a spreadsheet might become usable. But there are still so many instances where with our software, we can automate so much of that manual work and make a really robust planning solution that the leader can rely on to help them run the business and make the big decisions.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
Hi, very nice presentation. So tell me, you said 120K in ARR with the 600,000. So how many units is that? Are you looking at, how many actual deals is that? Are there multiple users in a customer?
So basically, it's 200 paying customers.
Today?
No, this is our target.
Okay.
So today we're pre-revenue. We're launching paid plans in September, as was on the slide. And the plan is to get to 200 paying customers, paying us £42 a month, and that's 100K ARR. So that's 3 paid users is our assumption per customer, and £42 for over 200 paying customers to get to 100K in ARR.
Over what time period?
So our forecast starts onboarding revenue in September, and by the end of March, we're at that level. Yeah.
And with the unique nature, do you have any multiplier strategy from powered by putting it into other tools? Is there a partner strategy there?
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely partnership strategies. We're looking at. There's lots of opportunity to work with spend management software, so like Pleo or Spendesk or other technology partners. Also partner up with a lot of accelerators and incubation houses that help startups. A lot of startups, they have great ideas, but they don't really understand the finances, so we can help with that. Yeah.
Excellent.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Up next, can I have Elephant Tech, please?
Okay, my name is Yoshihiko Saito, sales engineer at Elephant Tech. I'm very pleased to hear. Okay, before jumping my presentation, let me ask one question. You may probably be familiar with semiconductor integrated circuit or ICs. What company do you know, the semiconductor company? Maybe the Intel here, Ireland, or TSMC, Samsung or something. So that the semiconductor is everywhere in electronics devices. No doubt, I think. But semiconductors do not work alone. Semiconductors need to place on somewhere to get physical stability and electrical connection between the multiple ICs. Printed circuit board or PCB we make is plays an important role. So that printed circuit board PCB market is huge. There are almost 70 billion US dollar of market globally. Also, the good amount of the growth rate. We are focusing on this market. But PCB market is some issue. One is making the unsustainable way of manufacturing. So that gas emission, there are a huge amount of emission to go out. So Apple says that in their product, 10% of their emission is from the PCB, printed circuit board. This is not a neglectable number. Also, the water waste problem. The existing conventional PCB production uses a huge amount of water. So this is one of the problem for not sustainability. Also, the regional risk. So the current printed circuit board are made by the certain countries like this. So that especially the United States have much concern of the certainty for the production in certain countries. Also, the current printed circuit board use something like a rare earth, so like a palladium. So that current PCB uses this rare earth. Also, this material are highly depending on these countries. This should be the problem of the current printed circuit board industry. We, Elephant Tech, provide the innovation to this printed circuit board industries. This is our production method. We call pure additive method. This is our production. So that our production is very simple. We purchase the substrate like a polymer, and we use our inkjet printer to print the metal nanoparticle that only were needed to make a circuit. And then we apply the plating to get a thickness of the trace that goes through the electric current. Basically, it's all of the manufacturing process. You may know the conventional, traditional way of PCB manufacturing. So that traditional way of manufacturing uses mainly the chemical treatment. It's like a chemical etching. It means remove a necessary part of the copper, and in this process produce the many waste. Also, the chemical treatment needs washing, so that tons of water is used, so that this production, traditional production, is not sustainable. So that comparing our process and conventional process, we claim this. So that copper usage, copper consumption is reduced 70% from the traditional manufacturing way. Also, the carbon footprint is also reduced minus 75% comparing traditional way. Also, the water usage for washing, water usage drastically reduced minus 90%. Say that if you need just 1 square meter of printed circuit board, traditional way use 1.5 tons of water for washing. But we can reduce the minus 95% for the water usage. And we can provide these sustainability. Also, we can provide the cost competitiveness. That's because our process is simpler than the traditional one. Also, our process use less material. So that's why we can provide the cost competitiveness. This is our manufacturing equipment. And this is for the metal nanoparticle, just magnified, and make it the liquid state to printable by the inkjet printer. And we can print the metal nanoparticle just for the trace, just needed press.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
you're out of time, I'm afraid. 6 minutes are up.
Okay.
So we'll have to stop there.
Okay.
Maybe the judges' questions might get into some more of your detail.
Thank you.
So judges, is there somebody who wants to go first with the question there? Who has the mic? Oh, there you go.
For my understanding, please speak slowly.
Yeah, is your product patent protected? Do you have it patented?
Yes, we have a patent. Also, we have many know-how, so that this technology is not patented, but also need many know-how to manufacturing.
And is that global?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
What is the market that you're going after?
Okay, so
Because I see that people are printing less and less, to be honest. So what are you looking at?
okay. So
What are you looking at?
Yeah. As I said, the semiconductor is everywhere. That means the printed circuit board is also everywhere in the electronic devices. But currently, we are now focusing on consumer devices. Yes. But it's applicable to not only the consumer, but the industrial and EV, electric vehicle, or something like that.
What stage are you at the moment, and what traction do you have?
Maybe we have a good strategy, so that we have the not selling the printed circuit board, but also that we can sell the inkjet printer for the itself to address the 90 billion over market.
Can you talk a little bit about the team, the people you have together?
Okay, we Elephant Tech just started 2014, and CEO and CTO is EX of the McKinsey company, and he has a good knowledge of the marketing, also technology, and he lead. And we have many people hiring from the talented people from Japanese other company that inkjet printing, chemicals, also surface technology or something.
Just a follow-up question on the traction. So you do have customers?
Yes, currently this technology is not laboratory technology, but we also have the mass production plant in Japan, and we are already shipping the volume production to Japanese customer. And also that we are aiming to ship the European customer right now.
And what's your ask?
What?
You're presenting here, so what is your ask? What do you want from anybody here?
Yes. So that European customer usually want sustainability. So that yeah, we can provide a sustainable manufacturing way to European customer. So that I wanna work with the customer. Also, the CBC, if you hear, yeah, we wanna get your invention to us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Elephant Tech. Next up, IA Labs.
Hi, everybody. It's great to be here today. It's great to be in the final as well. So let me tell you a little bit about IA Labs. IA Labs are building a solution to make the world digitally equal to everyone. So just to introduce myself, my name is Kyron O'Mahony. I'm the CEO and founder of Inclusion and Accessibility Labs. I'm also lucky enough to be the Chief Technology Officer in the National Council for the Blind. Very quick background on myself. I grew up in Ireland with a disability. I only have about 17% of normal vision. I'm legally blind, but I do have some usable vision. And I really struggled through education. And I was sent to remedial classes. I was always at the bottom of the class. I scraped myself into a computer science degree. And my world changed overnight. I went from being the back of the class to the middle of the class. I could increase the text size. I consumed information. Everything changed in my life. Now, every single day, I use technology as an enabler. I literally use it to see the bus, to make it stop so I know which number. I also make sure that I can read a bedtime story to my daughter every single night using my iPhone, the magnification. That's how important technology is to me. So I've built a company, where we have a single mantra. Technology is the single greatest enabler to people with a disability, or to anyone with a disability. But the world is not perfect. Of the top 1 million sites, only 1% are digitally accessible. That's 1%. Can you imagine only being able to use 1% of the websites that you interact with daily? If you look close to home in Ireland, less than 28% of the top 100 companies are digitally accessible. Education scores really poorly, not surprising. Top primary schools, the top secondary and third level education all do not have digitally accessible websites. The one that really bowls me away, over 600 recruitment companies in Ireland, which I emailed directly, none have a digitally accessible website. And you might have seen the report yesterday released by the government saying we're at highest levels of employment. The reality is, for people with sight loss in this country, less than 16% of people with sight loss are employed. Let me remind you, IA Labs are building a solution to make the world digitally accessible to everyone. So what we're building a SaaS solution that automatically scans a website to ensure that you meet the WCAG standard. That's an internationally recognized standard on digital accessibility. We do all sorts of things as part of that. We scan your website. We build a progress report over time. We let you know how you're progressing in your inclusion score over time. But more important than that, we're going to release a tool for free to people with disabilities that allows them to fix general issues that they experience on their website. And more importantly, allows them to report on how they are excluded from the digital world. Just to give you a quick perspective of what the system would look and feel like. As you can see your inclusion score over time. You see your compliance level against the legislation. You also, you see IA Labs inclusion score, which is proprietary for our algorithm. We even go down to the level of the code. We show what code is broken to the developers, and we show them how to fix it. And more importantly, it's all based on the feedback of people with disabilities, how they interact with the digital world. And we take that data and we build a machine learning model around it to make our system based on the feedback of people with disabilities. Let me talk to you about the team. We have an incredible board in place. All people are leaders in the in the disability sector, all with huge commercial acumen. We've got a great team on board. I'd like to say, of note, our CTO, Neil, who's built and scaled many products in the past, and also Adela Buleman, who leads our digital accessibility team and is a guru in that space. So just briefly, let me talk to you a little bit about why you would want to make your website digitally accessible. It really comes down to this. The WHO said there's 1.6 billion people globally that have a disability. We know it's actually slightly larger than that. It's actually closer to about one in 4. There's 13 trillion in wealth that's controlled globally by people with disabilities. But fundamentally, there's 3 reasons. If your company has a diversity and inclusion agenda, or diversity, equity, inclusion, excuse me, how can you apply for a job in that company if your website is not digitally accessible? Commercially, if up to 25% of the people that engage with your services online are prevented from interacting with you, it makes a lot of commercial sense to invest in digital accessibility. And finally, I want to talk to you about the European Accessibility Act that's coming in 2025. This is the GDPR for the digital accessibility world. It's also the right thing to do. Just to talk about market traction, we are profitable as we stand at the moment. We've generated over 700K in revenue. We're looking at 900K this year. All of our SaaS pricing model is available. We've tested it. It's at about 70% profit per plan. And we've tested it across many sites. Our algorithm works. We should be live in about 6 weeks. From a competitor analysis standpoint, there's 2 of any significance. One charges 800% more than we do and offers a smaller feature set. And one is also funded up to about 56 million. Their CEO released a statement 2 weeks ago that says, we did not listen to people with disabilities. We got it wrong. We made a mistake. We need to do it again. We're already ahead of them in terms of our tech. I want to leave you with this today. If you don't take anything else from my presentation, technology is the single greatest enabler to anyone with a disability. Thank you very much.
Hi, Kieran. I had the pleasure of seeing you yesterday. It was good. Today was great. So I
Thank you.
applaud that. I have a question on the $13 trillion of wealth that's managed by the disability community. Is that related to sight, or is that a general number?
No, it's pan-disability. Even though I have sight loss personally, all the statistics are pan-disability that I mentioned today.
Okay.
Across all disabilities, yeah.
And then another question, when you say websites, right, are you taking that as far as like digital banking or
Yes.
online? So it's not just websites that we're accessing, it's the tools that we access?
All digital products, websites, mobile applications. We actually have signed up 2 of Ireland's financial institutions. One of them recently just extended with us for an additional 2 years. So it's across all products and services that are digital. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Could you talk a little bit about partners and what partners you think you can use to, make things happen faster?
I mean, how would we scale, or how would we? Yeah. So my background is actually not in the disability sector; it's in the commercial world. So one of the things that I've worked on is how we can bring to market our product as quickly as possible to showcase that it is something that's real, it's something that can be achievable. So we actually have teams across. We've outsourced some of our development, some of it's in-house, and we've used that to bring the product to market quite quickly. One of the things that we found really beneficial is we work with a lot of Ireland's leading development companies who've basically said there's a huge value in having us certifying that their websites are compliant. And ultimately then that means that when they're selling to their customers, their own clients, we can actually put our stamp and our logo on their website. For example, we're featured on about 20 websites at the moment, including on Post and many others, large entities in Ireland. But certainly the relationship with development companies has been really beneficial to us.
Can you talk a little bit more about the revenue to date? You said you're launching the platform in the future. So is the revenue to date services based, or?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So at the moment, our service is purely a manual service that we are transitioning to an automated service. And one of the things I want to emphasize with that is because at the moment we know there's a demand there, but more importantly, we have over 150 clients on our books at the moment who we've already briefed on the automated solution. So we're creating a natural pipeline of customers that will transition from our manual approach through to our automatic approach. So I think we're kind of unique in the market in that sense for a startup, where we already have an active customer base who are engaging with us and are looking at our automated solution.
Hi, I have 3 questions. First one is the customers that you currently have. What is this, what are these? What is it composed of? I'd like to learn more about the companies, basically. Second thing is I'm not entirely sure what the diversity and inclusion budget, how much would that be on those typical companies that you reach out to, and what percentage of that is actually for digital, for digital inclusion, because that's or inclusivity, because that's kind of where you sit in. And let's say that they have a budget that is huge for all kinds of things, right? And then it's how it specifically relates to you. So yeah, I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, hopefully I remember all three. So let me talk to the first one. In terms of our customer base at the moment, it's actually incredibly diverse. So we have a mixture of financial institutions, insurance companies, right through to most people that tend to deliver their service online. And what we found is through pure outreach at the moment, typically when we make people aware of this, they say, oh, actually, this seems like it makes a lot of commercial sense. So to lead a little bit more into your second question in terms of the budgetary piece, I mean, it's actually a relatively, you saw from the price plans there, I mean, if you're running a digital accessibility, our digital accessibility solution across one website, you're talking €150 a year. Most companies that we have engaged with, though, typically have a development site, they have a staging site, they want to make sure their entire pipeline has that digital accessibility focus. So we tend to see people come back to us. And recurring is actually a big part of what we do, and up to 40% of our customers come back to us over and over again because websites aren't static, mobile applications are not static. But one more thing I'd like to say is that in terms of a budgetary piece, I would kind of challenge a little bit on that and say, if you don't have a digitally accessible website by 2025, and the legislation explicitly states that, so all commercial websites, all websites that are providing a commercial solution must have a digital accessible website, or they can be litigated against, which is a big change in legislation. So that market, in fact, is European-wide. It's already in the States, similar legislation. So any company that has a website is exposed to that. So if you flip the coin and say, well, do you remember when GDPR was coming online, what budget was assigned for GDPR, and it gained that traction around it? It's a very similar approach that we're having from digital accessibility standpoint.
What do you expect your revenues to be in 5 years?
In 5 years, we have revenues of 10 million predicted. I think that's a little bit conservative. All of our numbers are, by the way, have been backed and validated by BDO. It's not just me, it's not hyperbole. We've done full financial modeling on that. So we're at 2025, we're predicted about 10 million.
Okay, thanks.
Is that it? Thank you very much. And up next, we'll have My Money.
Hello, everyone. My name is Greta, and I'm the CMO at My Money. Here at My Money, we know that the biggest problem affecting the payment sector today are social exclusion and frauds. Global card fraud attacks had cost the economy $29 billion last year. And how is that possible? It only takes 6 seconds to clone a credit card and 1 second to intercept a contactless credit card payment. Furthermore, 1.7 billion people in the world are financially excluded through being unbanked or not having access to the internet. The solution for this is biometric payments. And according to the PSD2, they are the safest payment on the market today. The market of mobile payments is set to increase by 4 times in the next 4 years, but so are frauds. And that is why we are replacing existing payments, such as cash, cards, and mobile payments, with payments by fingerprint. Competitors are starting to arise in the market, but their solutions still have critical issues which do not allow them to be used in every situation. For example, facial recognition needs the right amount of light to work. It needs to process a lot of data, so you cannot process many people quickly, and it doesn't guarantee a high level of privacy. My Money is the most secure payment system because it uses fingerprint as a biometric, which our readers have FBI-certified readers, which means that no one can clone your fingerprint and use it because it would not work. No one can chop your finger off and use it because there's liveness detectors in the readers. It is fast because your fingerprint is small, so there's not a lot of data required to be processed. It guarantees greater privacy because I do not know the color of your skin, your gender, or what you look like in general. And it is a voluntary act of placing your finger on the reader, unlike facial recognition, voice recognition, or iris recognition. So how does My Money work? It is super simple. The user just needs to download the app, register their data, connect their payment methods, register their fingerprint, and then they can go out and pay using only their finger. Getting on the market will be very easy for us because we have secured exclusive partnership with all of the major POS machine producers. Our biggest partner is PAX, who is a world leader in their industry, and they have recently signed an agreement with the Italian Postal Service for 60,000 of their terminals to be used exclusively with our software. We have also partnered with Axon, which makes biometric kiosks, and Skidata for unattended POS machines. We also have more partnerships with Spectra, Telpo, and Urovo when it comes to POS machines, and then Dermalog and Aratech when it comes to only the piece that reads your fingerprint. So what are the advantages of My Money? On the merchant side, it is fast, innovative, easy, and secure, so they can attract more customers. And on the customer side, it is also innovative, easy, and very secure, but it is also a natural gesture, and it is always with you. Our business model will initially be a B2B2C, which will allow us to have 0.4% of every transaction, but we plan on becoming a virtual bank, which will allow us to have 0.7% of every transaction. We're starting to get recognized. We're getting nominated for awards alongside HSBC, even though we're not on the market yet. This is a roadmap. We are very close to launching. By the end of summer, we are ready to launch in Italy with Poste Italiane. We have a world-leading core team from the CEO to the CFO to the CBO, CTO with many years of experience in the world of payments and in biometrics. We cannot wait to go on this journey and get started. Thank you.
Yeah, I've just one question. What's the barrier for competitors or two competitors coming into this market?
Most of the biggest players out there, such as like Alibaba, they're using facial recognition with Alipay. And as I mentioned before, it is not so usable for every type of scenario. Jeff Bezos is doing palm vein reader, which is a very big piece of tech, and it's more expensive. It's not so easy to implement everywhere. With our system, the readers are just coming to the market. It's just the next evolution of the POS machines is going to be with embedded fingerprint readers, and the little like fingerprint readers, just the single piece, can be integrated to any type of machine through Bluetooth. So it is very easy, and we have the domain over all of this. Our solution is patented as well. And with the expertise and the people that we have in our team, we have secured lots of partnerships with the biggest players.
Okay, thanks.
I have a question. So basically you're saying that nobody has done it before because of the natural linear evolution of technology? Is that the main kind of your way of saying nobody has done it before us because?
Nobody has done it before us, not the way we're doing it, not with our team, not with our expertise. Now is the right time. We have a patent. Other people are doing it in different ways, which we don't think are suitable for the market. And we have big plans beyond payments for this software.
Understood. And second question, what happens with the data?
What happens with the data?
Yeah, you're giving data, like we're giving you data, right?
Okay, yeah, this is everyone's concern when we talk about biometrics. Basically, when you enroll your fingerprint, it gets encrypted, and then we only store that encryption. And what our software does is the matching of the fingerprint when you are actually going in a point of sale. So we don't store any of your other data. We just do the matching.
Okay, and is that possible can someone reach it somehow? And if it does, what would be the implications of it? Or if not, alternatively, maybe do you have any kind of I guess, regulation in place or anything like that to prevent that from happening?
Yeah, so the chances of it happening are actually so slim because we, first of all, encrypt the data from your fingerprint. So someone would have to be able to decrypt it to be able to use it. Secondly, if they do manage to do this, they would be making a replica of your fingerprint, which would not work with the fingerprint readers. And if someone were to cut your finger off to try and use it, it would also not work.
Couple of questions. So it was an impressive list of hardware device manufacturers that you say you have partnerships with. Can you talk a little bit more about that, about how advanced they are, how concrete they are, any exclusivity, and just a little bit more about that?
So we have exclusive partnerships with the PACs, as I mentioned. They are our biggest partnership. Many of their people that work like in very top level for them are invested in our company as well. And we have already signed like agreements with them. We're going ahead with the Italian Postal Service. So they have signed an agreement with the Italian Postal Service, which also doubles as a bank in Italy, for a supply of 60,000 of their terminals, and they're going to be used exclusively with our software in them. We also have an exclusive partnership with Skidata, which is a leader in Europe, I believe, for unattended POS machines, and they will also be using our software exclusively.
Okay. Second question, you mentioned at the start 1.8 billion unbanked. How does this solution address that problem?
We aim to include the financially excluded. This is the case because sometimes people don't have smartphones. So many people don't have smartphones actually in the world, 30%. And with this solution, you do not need a smartphone to be able to pay. So people that do not have Apple Wallet or credit cards, even like in third world countries, would be able to access finances this way.
But my understanding is you download the app, so you need to borrow someone else's smartphone, that's okay. But you then need to connect your existing bank accounts. So for the unbanked, those without bank accounts, how does this offer a solution?
Directly in the points of sale where you find the machines, you can onboard there. So you do not actually need to download the app to do it. It's just how most of our users do it, like the major user experience is that way. And for the unbanked, there's like processes for which they do get to be banked. Like through our app, it's a facilitator through our software.
And are you looking at integrating crypto?
Yes.
Okay.
I was going to ask that. How are you going to address the growing on-chain banking and decentralized banking and, you know, obviously peer-to-peer transactions? So yeah, if you could address that a little bit, that'd be great.
Yes. I am not the crypto expert in the company by any means, so I do not want to like give you false informations. But I do believe that you can connect like any payment system to our software, so you can connect your crypto wallets and pay using those.
So I just want to clarify, and you just said it again. So you are enabling existing payment processing software. So you are an embedded piece of software. So I don't have to replace my point of sale, don't have to replace that. You're embedding into existing infrastructure regardless of the payment processor?
Yes and no. So merchants can choose to either upgrade their POS machines. So like how they used to only have card readers in them, and now they also have contactless readers on them. The next stage of evolution, all of the POS machine producers are making their new generation one with embedded fingerprint readers in them, and we know this because we partner with many of them. But in case they do not want to replace their existing one, they can just supplement it with a very small piece that reads your fingerprint, and it's very inexpensive, and it can be connected to any piece of tech.
And where are you focused on globally? Europe?
Yes, we're starting off in Italy, and then we plan to expand in Europe, and then when we get the virtual banking license, that's globally.
Okay, one last question, which was answered, and I just wasn't sure about it. So that, has someone tried this and failed, right? So if you think about the other, you know, your ability to maintain competitive edge on a global basis starting in Italy. So has someone tried this and failed? And are there other, you know, who's your threat behind you? Who do you worry about at night when you go to bed?
I worry about Jeff Bezos, not because of what he's actually doing, but because of the power he has and big corporations that are going for these biometric solutions, but not because their solutions are better, just because of the huge power and amount of money that they have behind them. I know there have been people that have tried doing fingerprint payments before, but the tech was not where it is right now. The readers were not that as efficient as they are now, and the market wasn't ready for it in general.
All right, one last question. What's your ask? I asked the last guy that too. So why are you up there and what do you want?
So we're raising 2 million for our seed round. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And last but not least, can I have platform 55, please? There's your one, and the other one is just up there on the podium.
Oh, perfect. Oh, where's the clicker? Clicker is here. Okay. Okay. Go. Good afternoon. We have a problem. And when I say we, I mean me, I mean you, I mean all of us. Whether you're here from a really small startup or you're part of a multinational. I'm Tracy Gunn, co-founder of Platform 55. So what is this problem that we all share? The problem that we have is that talent is walking out the door. And this is at a time when the CIPD say that 90% of organizations are facing a skills shortage. This creates a headache, and not only that, it impacts our bottom line. So what the heck is happening? What's going on? Let's have a look at some of the people issues that organizations are currently dealing with today. If you have a look at the screen behind me, you'll see just a snapshot of some of the things that companies are dealing with. So from grappling with how do we manage hybrid working, how do we close our gender pay gap, how do we manage the increasing and changing employee expectations. So this is the problem that we're all dealing with. This is what's going on in companies. But let me introduce you to my co-founder, Michelle O'Keefe. Michelle, what else is happening?
So a lot of these issues that Tracy has referenced here relate to working parents. On average, 55% of the workforce are working parents. Has the penny dropped where our name comes from? On top of that, in your organizations, 80% of women consider not returning back after maternity leave. 1 in 3 dads are currently moving roles to find more family-friendly organizations, and 50% of employees say that it is not compatible to be a parent and hold a senior role, and this is massively contributing to the inequalities at senior levels, gender inequalities at senior levels. On top of this, 8 out of 10 managers say that they're not equipped to have conversations around sensitive family topics that impact the workplace, and often throwing this hot potato back to HR.
So, what is the cost of ignoring this problem? I hope by now many of you have a check in front of you. Wave your checks in the air if you have that there. Excellent, I can see them there. Right. Let's imagine you have someone on their team and they're brilliant, okay? You don't want to lose this person. They've just become a parent, but for some of the reasons that Michelle has outlined, they're not going to come back to your company. Let's just say they're earning $50,000 a year. What's it going to cost your business to replace this person? Have a go at coming up with a figure in your head. What would you think? The actual answer is €120,000 to replace them. Now, I don't know how close you got. You can come and tell me afterwards. But this is coming right off your bottom line. Now, let's flip this and let's think about what is the cost of actually getting this right, of supporting people through some of life's key moments. Well, not only does it save us money, it reduces attrition, it increases productivity by as much as 33%, and it increases engagement. And that's why we created a solution, a straightforward solution that addresses what is quite a complex issue. We did this by building a scalable platform, and organizations such as KPMG, Qualtrics, AXA are already seeing how you can take care of business by taking care of your people. Through the scalable platform, we're able to do that at an average cost of €24 per employee per year.
So we've built a platform that has triple bottom line solutions. It looks after your people, it delivers commercial benefit, and it addresses your CSO agenda. This year alone, we've been featured in Kerry's annual report and Irish Life's annual report, cited as solutions to both gender pay gap reporting and diversity inclusion challenges. The platform itself provides employees what they need when they need it. So our platform is a turnkey solution. We can onboard partners within 48 hours, giving their employees immediate access to supports from everything from preconception, fertility and surrogacy, all the way through to menopause and everything in between. More importantly, we train and coach managers how to handle these conversations. We also track and monitor the inclusivity progress through our diagnostic tool year on year. The total addressable market size is 2.6 billion. That is based on our SMB solution all the way through to enterprise solution. Are we the only people in the market looking at solving this problem? No. But the market is extremely fragmented and disjointed. AXA, as part of the procurement process, were asked to find 3 supplier quotes. They couldn't find one other supplier to quote for this work, which puts us in a quite a unique position. Don't take my word for it. These are the clients we've onboarded in the last 2 years.
Okay. So what makes us a good founding team? Well, I have 2 decades of experience of working in HR. I've also run my own successful business for the last 18 years, working with C-suite all the way through to frontline managers. I also happen to be a working parent, so I get the challenges.
I was promoted to managing director of the Irish Times digital media agency 24 hours before my first baby arrived, giving me very first-hand experience of the problems we are trying to solve. In 2008, I was named Entrepreneur of the Year for a previous tech business. We have grown the team from 2 to 6 in the last 2 years, and we have an extended contracted team of 24 expert panelists. We are 2 years old today. Can I have a woo woo? In the last 2 years, we have supported 30,000 employees in 7 European languages and sign language across EMEA and the US, and we've increased revenue 247% year on year.
That has been quite the 2 years. So what do we see coming up in the next 5 years? Well, fueled by investment, we want to increase our international footprint. We want to grow our team and develop our tech so that we can save all of your fabulous businesses money. But most importantly for us, so that we can have a positive impact on the lives of 1.2 million working families. We really hope you want to be part of this solution. Thank you.
Thank you. No questions.
I have a question.
Oh, shit.
You mentioned a diagnostic tool. So what is the percentage of work that you're doing that is services versus technology enablement?
100% technology enablement. So the diagnostic tool is online and digital, and all of our partners access the material, content, resources, training through the digital platform.
And do you merge it all into any of like the wealth programs that an institution has, right? So you're looking after diversity, inclusion, and these certain things, but is there any wealth component tied into what you're doing for, like in the States it would be 401k, or any of the retirement planning that you're looking at, and how that would impact?
So that's a really interesting question. With the diagnostic tool, we're always asking people what their challenges are. Things have changed year on year. Post-pandemic, solo parenting has come up as a big topic. And on our last diagnostic, retirement and planning came up. So we're always bringing in specialists depending on what we're hearing through the diagnostic. So that's a conversation we had 2 weeks ago with a person. Yeah.
What's the hour? You've got all those clients, so how much money are you making right now?
We are on track to turn over 480K this year.
Congratulations.
I'm going to let Tracy speak, actually. It's terrible.
You're doing a great job, Michelle.
Thanks,
Take it away. It's fine.
Hi, great presentation, ladies. Thank you very much. The training material itself, 2 questions. Number 1, where is it sourced from? And number 2, who is it targeted at? Is it just the managers? Is it the entire workforce? Can you talk to me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I would love to. So this is where my 2 decades of experience comes in. So a lot of the material is material that I personally have created and developed, and then we've turned that into digital solutions so that can be accessed, you know, anytime, any place. Some of it's live as well, so we can build a sense of community with that. on the topics that Michelle has said, whereby we are not the experts, that's where we bring in other partners who are subject matter experts. And then in terms of who it's targeted at, when we actually could be called Platform 94, because when you factor in the people who are already parents, those who might hope to become parents in the future, and their managers, it actually equates to 94% of employees. Does that answer your question? Okay.
And also just to add to that, we've just added those who are carers for elderly parents as well, which has come from the diagnostic. So I'd say nearly 100% of employees, yeah.
We all have something.
How do you measure outcomes over time, and what have the trends been when you're working with a company for a few years?
Well, if I talk about product first of all, and then you can talk about recurring revenues. So we very closely measure and track the feedback that we get. And I personally am very, very proud that we have a Net Promoter Score of 9.2. So when we think about the amount that, of clients that we're serving and the volumes that we have, that's one way in which we measure progress to make sure our quality is absolutely where it needs to be.
Do you mean as also progress for the client?
The problems you talk about.
The problems you talk about, yeah, sure. So
they're
just to give one example of a question in the diagnostic, we asked people how they would rate their maternity leave experience, and it's a sliding scale. The whole diagnostic taps up into an EMPS score, so like on average at the moment it's 72 across all of our clients. But each question, we can monitor the progress. So let's say we ask, how would you rate your maternity leave experience? In some organizations, people rate it 1 out of 9 or 1 out of 10, and people rate it 9 out of 10. Same policy, same culture, same people, often comes down to the manager. We're tracking that particular number for that client to make sure we can move that up next year, that people are having better paternity leave experience, maternity leave experiences, and all that. So it's all in the diagnostic, tracked into an EMPS score.
Because you can sell to any market, right? How are you doing your market segmentation for go-to-market?
Sure. So as a result of some of the clients we onboarded in, we had to translate into some particular European languages. So geographically, we're kind of looking at those areas. But we're getting particular traction in pharma, finance, legal, and FMCG. So we're focused on those. We onboarded our first construction client last week, actually, and they have a massive issue with gender equality. And this is a great solution for them. So we're going to throw construction in there as well. Woo!
And have you raised any money? You said you're doing a raise. Have you raised money to date?
No, we haven't. We're self-funded. There's actually some money in our bank, which is a really strange place to be. But we've had some great funding conversations over the last 2 days, and that is on the agenda, hopefully by the end of the year.
Thank you.
Okay. Yep. Oh, sorry.
What's your business model? How do you charge for your product?
It's an annual subscription. But we've also just launched an SMB solution. Do you want to expand on that?
Yeah, sure. So it's an annual, so our clients, 250 staff plus, they get access to the platform for the year, and that's based on a per user, per employee, so it's a very scale depending on the size of the organization. They pay an annual fee. We've had 100% renewal of our clients so far. So then we've launched the SMB solution, which means if you're a team of 10 and you have somebody who's recently become a father, you can buy a 2-year support package for them for €899. But typically, most of the revenue is coming from our enterprise clients.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you very much.
And those are our 5 finalists. Thank you very much to all our teams for taking part. I have to say, judges, well done. No holds barred, no easy questions. I would have been afraid to pitch in front of you, to be fair. But thank you so much for your time. And to the teams, thank you so much for giving so much of your time today and yesterday. So folks, what's going to happen now, we're going to let our judges go away and just have a quick chat about it. While that's happening, please welcome to the stage James McCann from Clear Story and Jane Dillon from Ireland's first talent accelerator, founders at Dogpatch Labs, who are going to talk about how to get started and starting up. Oh, sorry folks, we'll be about 15 minutes, we'll announce the winner.
Thank you. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to have a very full-hearted discussion on starting up, I suppose, for all of you in the audience who are maybe thinking about it and who would like to set up your own businesses. Delighted to be joined by Jane here. I mean, what a time to be even considering starting a business and a startup. On one hand, you have layoffs. On the other, you have other hirings. What's going on?
Yeah, like I think the place for me to start is that actually there's hugely rich talent pools here in Ireland, you know, as a result of a number of different things. And mainly it's the investment in multinational tech companies over the last 10 years. Not even the generation 1 and 2, kind of first and second, your Googles, your Facebooks. Mainly the third generation, so your Zendex, HubSpots, they all actually based and invested in their engineering and really stimulated basically a culture of spin-outs. And what we see now in Ireland is a really rich talent pool that underpins the startup ecosystem. But what we're seeing now with layoffs is a lot more of that talent coming online. And it's also like, you know, our university investment. We've got over 5,000 computer science graduates every year coming online, and that's only a fraction of what we have in postgrads and PhDs. So yeah, we've got really rich talent pools, and because of what we've just said there, and macro headwinds and tailwinds, some of those are coming online now.
Yeah, and I think over the last 5 years, we've seen the Irish tech ecosystem, you know, just steam ahead in terms of trajectory. And look, obviously, multinationals have played a massive role in that, bringing new talent to the country, developing that talent, you know, and being very generous in giving insights and training and development. And look, as you say, you know, we're in a scenario now where layoffs are happening, or if not layoffs, you know, hiring freezes. There's people now that have maybe wanted to move into technology, and a whole breadth of different skill sets, engineering, marketing, you know, what's happening to those people now?
Exactly. And, you know, there is the smaller part of those people who have, like, you know, take that first step into entrepreneurship on their own. You know, they've always wanted to do it. But what we're kind of maybe lacking here, which other innovation economies have, are more supports to take that first step into entrepreneurship. And that's what we've been seeing a lot, and people kind of coming through the doors, especially with the layoffs, or people who've just been thinking about it, or, you know, have been top line in a startup themselves and have always wanted to do their own thing. So what we've come up with is the Talent Accelerator model, which has been around for the last decade across many of the major global ecosystems. And what we've just launched is Founders at Dogpatch Labs. It's basically a program to help people come meet a co-founder, build a startup from scratch.
Amazing. And you know, who can apply for this? You know, again, we are kind of talking about all those engineer, sales, marketing roles that have been kind of maybe let go, or people are at a loose end.
Yeah, I would say, as many of you, if you're here today, you know that founders come in all shapes and sizes. There is absolutely no credentials or background, but I mean, there is some key personas, I would say. You know, you are computer engineering, you're like an engineer, software engineering. Could be a serial founder already and you're looking for that perfect co-founder. You have just been working in an industry, you're a domain expert, and you've wanted to solve a problem, and you just don't know how to take that first step into founding a business. Yeah, it kind of, there's no age or like tenure, age or stage is kind of not relevant.
It's literally for people who have a very keen interest. I'm at the time of my life now, I want to start a business. You know, what does it involve?
Yeah, so I think the inputs into the program are individuals with great founder potential. When we speak about that, we think about things like, you know, they have a huge ambition, they've got that grit and resilience, you know, they're smart and they get stuff done, you know, and they're an outlier. They've probably demonstrably done something like outside of what their peer groups have done at some point. And beyond that, what we're trying to provide with the program is breaking down those big barriers, finding a co-founder being the biggest. We know that having a co-founded company is one of the significant determinants of startup success, but it's really bloody difficult. You know, it's your own network. All of our networks look like us, all can talk like us. You can't get the diversity you need.
And it's also the diversity of skill set needed. You know, you might have somebody who's great at finances, terrible at tech, right?
100%.
Or vice versa, you know. You know, if you're going to do the solo thing, you just need an awful lot of support. You know what they say about, you know, either have to have the money, the time, or the skills, and that's the trifecta. So you guys obviously help kind of bring that together.
Exactly. I think the traditional co-founder relationship is someone who builds product and someone who takes it to market. Now, within that, there's a huge intersection of what that looks like, but it's very difficult for one or the other to find each other organically or out in the wild. So that's what we really want to do. And I think the other bits that the program kind of helps to overcome is that we'll pay you to do this. You know, there's financial support in the form of a stipend, and then at the end of phase 1, there's an investment committee where people pitch for pre-seed investment.
So we're talking about, I suppose, if you're looking to jump, this facilitates that. You know, if you're even in a job and you're saying, like, this is something I've always wanted to do, is that what we're talking?
For me, and I would say this, but it's a no-brainer. There's no downside. If you're at a juncture and you're thinking about it, you come in as an individual with high potential at the beginning of this program, and 3 months later, you're the co-founder of a company potentially with 100K pre-seed investment. You know,
that's incredible.
It's a very fast trajectory, and at the very least, like, in a scenario where you don't get funded, or you found your co-founder but you know you don't feel like it's going anywhere, you've just spent 3 months in a room with Ireland's brightest, you know, ideating, supercharging your network, and that's often all you need to take the first step in, you know.
I remember when I was kind of starting up myself, and so it's the biggest fear is, you know, you're leaving some element of security, you're going into the unknown, anything can happen, you know, you're learning along the way, of course, but, you know, let's say somebody takes the risk, they make the jump, and it doesn't always work out, right? Like, failures happen, and, you know, hard lessons are learned. What would you hope that people who take that leap will achieve?
So there's a great Paul Graham essay. He's the founder of Y Combinator. Many of you might be familiar with his essays, and if you aren't, definitely give them a read, both for life and startups. Like, very wise man. And one of them basically says there is no reason not to do a startup. Okay, I would go one step further and say there's no reason not to do it with the Talent Accelerator, because it really is a bit of structure. It provides the support that you need. Like, it's so difficult to found a company, build a company. Many of you, the guys just pitching there, you're doing so well, but like, take the help, you know, take the network we will provide, take the money we will provide, take the mentorship, you know, whatever you start ideating on, we can find the perfect mentor, technologist, founder that can come help you. You don't need to kind of do this in your bedroom alone. And that's what we haven't had in Ireland yet.
Yeah, you guys are providing the scaffolding in order to bring another generation or a new generation of startups through, get them equipped, obviously with co-founders, but skills, resources, time. I mean, it's a fantastic concept.
Yeah, no, it's excellent, and I've watched over the last 10 years a lot of my friends go abroad to do these, and actually having the opportunity for people to do it here at home, where the ecosystem is thriving beyond all of the other international ecosystems where some of them are, you know, already in place. It feels like we're bleeding talent we don't need to be.
And it's also the dividend, isn't it, of the multinationals having come to Ireland, and, you know, they scaled, they might be just paring back a bit. There's still a massive dividend now that's being paid into the Irish ecosystem that, you know, we have to harness.
100%. And as I said, it's that even that third generation of multinational investment that is really paying that dividend. It's why you can see those unicorns in the last few years. It's why you've seen that, like, turbocharge. And yeah, so I really feel like it's something that's been missing. It's here now. It's not creating things that weren't going to be created. These people were going to found anyway. It's activating those talent pools.
It's giving them a higher chance of success.
100%.
You know, again, I think, you know, we would work with you know, seed and Series A stage companies globally, and the biggest hurdle is that support network, being able to access a network quickly so that you can acquire investment, customers, just insights, so that you don't make the same mistakes that everybody makes all the time, right?
100%. So people come through the door every day going, I need a co-founder. You know, that's the biggest one. But they don't have the network to do it. The next thing is, I can't quit my job because I don't have any money to pay whatever the rent. You know, and the third one is, who do I ask about this? I'm doing the wrong thing. You know, again, these are like a lot of people who have founded their own things, like I had to do that on my own, do it yourself. But it's more like, if these were here, if the quality inputs are these high potential people, if we can provide this supercharged process, the outputs will be higher quality startups.
You're sourcing trail finders, people who would have gone ahead of the next generation, to just give them the core lessons that you don't need to learn twice. Why would we do that?
Exactly.
It's kind of we're reiterating the same stuff. We need to just take the risk out of it as best we can, so we can just see talent develop and make a great success of things here in Ireland.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's a really exciting prospect, and I think I would say to anyone who's considering it and is at a juncture and potentially has been impacted by layoffs, or you're waiting to be shoved off a cliff, this could definitely be the way to do it.
And it obviously comes with mentorship as well. What does that look like?
Yeah, so we've got like a huge, it's powered by Dogpatch Labs, which is, one of the central nodes of the ecosystem here. And what we run in all of our other accelerators is mentorship-based programs. So it's a huge and amazing network of mentors, experts, they're founders themselves, they're technologists, that really, it doesn't matter what you end up ideating on, because you come into founders without an idea. You do that within the 3-month period, is you can pick up the phone to someone. And we will have, obviously, our entrepreneurs and residents who will permanently be running, with this week to week, but it's really an amazing network to be able to draw from.
And for those now interested in, making the jump, right? Key dates, how to apply.
Yeah, so the details, we have applications open now, and they will be closed on the 18th of June, so less than 3 weeks away. The application form is not long or difficult, so I would just say to people, apply.
No bureaucracy, straight in.
You just have to be in it to win it. So, and if you have questions, it's very easy to get in touch with us and the team. But yeah, I would say there is absolutely no downside to doing this. As I said, within 3 months, you can be co-founder of a company with pre-seed investment. That's definitely the fastest you're going to do it.
And you can apply online at Dogpatch.
Apply it. It's called so Join Founders is the thing, but all found on Dogpatch as well. Yeah, I would say there's absolutely no downside. You will mark your life pre-founders and post-founders for sure.
Well, that sounds like a challenge for anyone interested. You can go to the Dogpatch website. There'll be a link there. A very straightforward, non-bureaucratic process to get yourself involved in mentorship with some of the best Irish tech talent that there is available. Anything else you might want to add, Jane, at this stage? Happy out?
No, I just, as I said, really no downside. Just apply.
Good stuff. Okay, folks. Well, listen, the very best of luck to our competitors in the pitch competition, and a pleasure to, I suppose, close out Dublin Tech Summit here today. And thank you all very much for giving us your time. Take care.
This is where a house band and a drum roll would work well. Thank you so much, judges, for your work there. Just finally, just to say once again, congratulations to everybody who's taken part in this pitch competition over 2 days. It takes a lot, obviously you're building businesses, so it's a big commitment to take the time out to be part of this, and hopefully you got value out of it. We've seen some amazing companies from Ireland, Italy, Malta, the Ukraine, the UK, US, Azerbaijan, even as far as Japan, who all decided to come here on this sunny Dublin day and probably, had this dream that Ireland is a rainy place all the time ruined for them. But like any good competition, there's only one winner, really. The challenge we have here is it was so close. And I mean like hairline fracture close. So, in second place, we'll say, by the minuscule of fractures, please give a round of applause to Platform 55. But the winner of the Ignite Pitch Competition 2023 is IA Labs. Guys, if you'd like to join us on stage for some photos, and the DTS team will be in touch with you regarding your prizes and stuff like that, which will You'll have to come back next year, but next year you'll be coming back and you'll have your own stand and everything here. So please, the IA Labs team, please come to us. And this will keep you going celebrating for half an hour anyway. Just Thank you very much. And folks, that is it for the Ignite stage for 2023. Only, I guess, 300 and something days until the Ignite stage 2024. Thank you to everybody for being here for the last 2 days. In particular, I'd like a round of applause for the backstage team who've kept everything running so smoothly and made my job so easy. For the rest of you, I will see you all at the after party at 7:30 in Lost Lane. If you're not there, really, you've missed the best part of Dublin Tech Summit. Thanks a million, folks.